Hello, hello, I'm Bella, and welcome to Final Fantasy XIV. We're gonna start off with the 2.3 Defenders of Eorzea. Alright, but let's get started here and talk to Memphilia. The Great Divide. What's here? Daystar earrings? All classes, or Evening Star? Huh. I'll still get the gold. I still think I have the highest quality that I can get for now. Memphilia's thoughts keep returning to the fate of the students of Baldessian. Our friends, the very isle itself. No, it avails us not to speculate. Eorzea will send word if there are any developments. Until such time as he does, we must remain firmly focused on that which is within our power to change. With that in mind, I would speak of a different matter, one closer to home. It concerns etheric fluctuations, which we had previously attributed to good King Mulgamog XII. That the king is no more is a blessing for which we have you to thank. Yet all is not well in the Twelveswood. Our latest readings reveal an ongoing etheric disturbance of considerable magnitude. They may even suggest the presence of a primal. Needless to say, the mere possibility warrants immediate investigation, and I would have you... Acelia, I do not wish to interrupt, but we have a problem. What manner of problem? A band of refugees, hailing from Ul'dah this time, are come to Revenant's Toll seeking asylum. It would seem they expect us to afford them the same treatment we gave the Domans. At present, they are in the seventh heaven, awaiting a formal response. I see. Mayhap this was to be expected. I shall meet with them at once. Acelia, you know full well we haven't the resources to accommodate many more people. Consider what will happen if you do this. Word will spread, and more will follow. Your opinion is duly noted, but I will hear their suit. Bella, I should be grateful for your presence at this meeting. I'm well aware that our resources are finite, but we have a responsibility to protect the people of Eorzea. You can't help everyone, though. It seems like everyone's in the same places. Hi, Tara! I apologize for keeping you waiting. My name is Memphilia, and I lead the Science of the Seventh Dawn. 12 be praised, it is you. We're ready and willing to work, same as the Domans. Just give us a task, and we'll see it done. And pray calm yourselves. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I know not of your situation. I beg your pardon, antecedent. I ain't so good with words. We've been living off the scraps of Ul'dah for years now, trying to piece together a life to replace the one what got took. They say there's work, but there's not for an honest man. Not as wouldn't sell his soul sooner than his palms any road. The flames do what they can for us, of course, but it ain't near enough. And it's only getting worse. When the calamity brought us to our knees, those rich bastards in the city didn't help us up. They climbed on our backs. I don't pretend to be clever, but even I can see what's coming. I knew we had to run. The only question was where, and then it came to me. Revenant's Toll. I mean, you took them foreigners in, didn't you? So you'd surely do the same for us. I fear the situation is rather more complicated. While it is true that we accepted the Dolmens' petition for aid, that decision was the product of extraordinary circumstances. I sympathize deeply with your plight, but pray understand that it is not possible for an organization of our means to aid all who have been affected by the calamity. And so it is with great regret that I must deny your request. But we've nowhere else to go. You're turning your back on us? If I might have a word. Tataru, is aught amiss? Ill tidings from Ul'dah, my lady. Alphinaud has been wounded. What? How? Is it serious? I cannot say for certain, but I fear it might be. According to the Flames, the refugees started a riot. They went wild, apparently, lashing out at any and everyone. That can't be right. Why would they? They must have been provoked. The demonstration was meant to be peaceful. 7 hells. Now the Blades have an excuse. They'll round us up and kill anyone who tries to resist. Antecedent, please, if you won't help us build a new life, at least help us keep the ones we've got. My lady? We are not ones to stand idly by and watch innocents suffer. However, until we know more of the circumstances surrounding this riot, I am not certain what aid, if any, we can provide. If the authorities determine that the refugees attacked without provocation, then those responsible will have to answer for their actions. How can you be so blind? Find Alphinaud, and quickly. If he is in danger, or worse, I would have you and none other by his side. Of course, I'll go straight to my son. Thank you. Pray do not concern yourself with the matter we were discussing earlier. You and Papa Limo will see to it. Alphinaud is being treated at the Hourglass. Hurry, Bella. Draggle-tailed refugee. Don't believe what they say. I know these people. They would only take up arms to defend themselves. If there was a riot, I swear to you, they didn't start it. Now there's more than one side to his story, but we can't trust the Lalafell. He was instigating the riots. Alright, the Hourglass. Ooh, look at that weapon. Fancy. I love the heart. Alright, over here? Oh no, here. Alfie, you look fine.
Come, you must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well. Ul'dah, on the other hand, is not. This riot was anything but an isolated incident. There is a restlessness in the air. Tensions long simmering are at last threatening to boil over. Ul'dah is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life. To an Ul'dah, money is the foremost,
food.
and some would say the only measure of a man's worth. Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence. So where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the calamity? Plainly, there is none. They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Ul'Dan way of thinking, they may as well not exist. Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Rauban and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor. Yet none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight. This has prompted more and more Ul'Dans to question their obligation to aid these worthless wanderers. While more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry.
Become an entrepreneur. That's how you solve your problems.
The manner of Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the Dolmens asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists. And you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their opinions. It was only a matter of time before the refugees united in protest. Nor is it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence. That the Immortal Flames should choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training exercises with the other Grand Companies. By the time they return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.
Desperate times. Elfina wishes to investigate the circumstances surrounding the riot. As I told you before, it was all but inevitable that an incident of this kind would eventually occur, given the rising tensions within the Sultanate. Nevertheless, I have reason to believe that this particular riot may not have begun spontaneously. Have I piqued your curiosity? Good. Then you will accompany me to the Hall of Flames. I would hear what General Rauban has to say upon the matter. Coming. Goddess of Magic. Is that a title? I want that title. How do I get that title? I don't know. Let me see. Do I have any titles available? Where do... Title? I do have some. Oh, all magic jobs to 80? Ah. Postwoman? Okay. That was from when I, unlocked that. Final Witness. The Silver Lining, Gentlewoman. Is the Gentlewoman from the Hildebrand? The Unsevered. Gambler. What happens in a saucer stays in a saucer. It's like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I'll do Gentlewoman. Gentlewoman Bella Stardust. Now is not a good time, Bella. My hands are full dealing with the refugees. Precisely the matter we wish to discuss, General. Elfino, back on your feet already. You may credit my swift recovery to your chirurgeons. My memories of the riot are still somewhat muddled. I trust you managed to regain control of the situation. Not entirely. We secured the city soon enough, but not before the unrest had spread to the surrounding territories. Pockets of resistance remained throughout Thanalan. We have set what forces we can spare to root out the last of the belligerents, but progress is slow. They are damnably elusive. I can well imagine. Given that the majority of refugees live outside the walls, it stands to reason that they would know the lay of the land. What I do not understand is how they came to be so well prepared. Before my little accident, I observed that several of the refugees were armed, and not with butchers' knives or pitchforks, but with martial weaponry. I need hardly add that such equipment is costly. None can deny that tensions between the Uldan citizenry and the refugee population have increased since the Dolmens were turned away, but would that motivate a starving man to purchase arms in lieu of food? I think not. And what of those who have not even a single guild to spend, who could not survive without the aid provided by the immortal flames? Surely they would sooner sell a weapon than bring it to bear against their benefactors? Come to the point. Very well. My point, General, is that this powder keg of discontent was not set alight by chance. These events were deliberately set in motion, and now order must be restored. That is my first duty. Until it is done, any investigation could wait. I do not have time to discuss this. My scouts will be returning anon. The general is no fool. He keeps his own counsel, and with good cause. Were he to claim, without the necessary proof, that these riots were instigated by outside forces, the monitorists would accuse him of attempting to shirk responsibility. After all, he and the Sultana have been the most outspoken proponents of refugee aid. Regardless, they will face harsh criticism in the days ahead. Our allies may stumble upon the truth in time, but I have far more faith in your abilities, Bella. Therefore, I propose we conduct our own investigation independent of the authorities. To that end, I would have you make inquiries in the settlements suspected of harboring belligerents. Commander Swift will know which they are. He may balk at a request for such information, but I have no doubt that you can persuade him with your silver tongue. I, meanwhile, shall seek answers in my own way, after which we can regroup and share our findings. Well then, shall we? We shall. You look as though you have something to say, Bella. Do you? What you ask is no simple favor. Were such information to fall into the wrong hands, the lives of countless soldiers would be at risk. Even so, there is wisdom in your words. An able individual may be better suited to this task than a regiment. Very well. The Brass Blades have reported suspicious activity in the vicinity of Lost Hope. It may be unrelated to recent events, but we doubt it. I suggest you begin by speaking to the blades posted there. Okay, before I go, I also wanted to change minions. I wanted to, where's Fat Cat? Fat Cats! Oh, I love you. I love you so much in your squishiness. Alright, Lost Hope. I believe that's this way. Grooving green? What is this? It's got cool shades. And what brings you here, adventurer? A search for refugees. Well, then, you've come to the right place. Ah, you mean those refugees? Oh no, you won't find them here. Most of the people of Lost Hope have come to accept their situation, and are content to pass their days in peace and quiet. Outsiders have trouble understanding that, like the merchant who passed through recently. Gregarious fellow, but awfully opinionated. Can't say I was sad to see him go. Leofric, what else do you have to say? There's nothing to see here, adventurer. What few troublemakers we have know better than to try anything with Leofric and myself around. A friend of the Sultanate, are we? I take it this means someone has read my report. The refugees who left with the merchant have yet to return, and I am increasingly concerned that Zazawaka's suspicions were correct. You haven't the foggiest what I'm talking about, do you? Never mind. Speak with Zazawaka. He will explain everything. Do not judge these people too harshly. For them, every day is a struggle. Were you in their position, can you truly say you would have done otherwise? Well, it's one thing to not judge refugees who are just living in a hellhole here, but you got some shady people making somnus back here, so yes, I will judge. Ah, don't hurt me. I'm not one of them. Wait, I know your face. Are you not the woman from the Church of Saint Adama Landama? 1,000 pardons, my friend. I mistook you for one of the thugs who have been tormenting us. If Leofric bid you speak with me, then I take it you've agreed to help. 'Twill be praised for that, because we haven't a moment to waste. Everyone knows the flames are on the march. The others have fallen under that fanatic spell, but not I. Promises of revolution and retribution, of holding the ruling class to account and taking that which is owed. Ha! A childish fantasy. I'm just thinking of the people who engage in these protests and riots, how some of them are like paid actors to do so, and some simpletons fall in line with that because they think they have a just cause, but no, it's like these rich bastards want to rule everyone, so they try to cause chaos and pay these people to wreak havoc and destruction and brainwash them to thinking that, oh, the same thing. They give them this, like, the socialist playbook is like, oh, free this, free that. The billionaires, they have to pay. Yes, there's crooked billionaires, but if you make it legally in the right way, you should be able to keep your money. That's just my thoughts. I did everything I could to dissuade the others from leaving, but few would heed my words. Now that one of our idealists has returned, however, the madness of the merchant's plan is plain for all to see. Look behind yonder tent, and you will understand why. Even now, he babbles incoherently, so traumatized is he by the bloodshed he witnessed. Try as I might, I can make little sense of his words beyond the fact that he was not alone in surviving. Yet I have no doubt that merchant will lead the remainder to their doom. I beg of you, find them before he does. The man said naught of his surviving comrades' whereabouts. Naught I could understand, at least. Mayhap you will be able to extract some sense from him. I wish you good fortune. Poor guy. What are you doing? Don't draw. Don't draw. Don't draw. Don't draw. Don't draw. Why didn't you run away with me? We could have escaped together. Then you'd be here with me. Be here to soothe me. Why did you have to stay and leave me alone? Ah, poor guy. Trauma. Who are you? What do you want? Aye, it's true. I followed the merchant, and may the gods strike me down for my folly. What they will not give, you must take, he said. When we asked how, he revealed a cache of weapons he had brought and implored us to seize control of our fates. I thought about running then and there, but the others were so excited. He split us into 2 groups, sent us off on our own. But when the flames found us, we didn't know what to do. Our leader tried to parley with theirs, but then they started arguing and then fighting, and then everyone was fighting, and the flames were shouting to give no quarter, and... Oh, gods, the other group. They're still out there. If we don't stop them, they'll be massacred like mine was. Shock and awe. The terrified refugee would have you find his brethren and convince them to lay down their arms. The other refugees are hiding in the caves south of Lost Hope, but to approach them would be fruitless. They would sooner call us agents of the Sultanate and try to kill us than listen to reason. Why, the twins might even deign to do the deed themselves. A pox on all bloody sellswords. They were supposed to train us to fight, but the ones he sent with us vanished during the struggle. Oh, if only we had never listened to that merchant's ridiculous claims. He said our cause was righteous, that the gods would never suffer us to be defeated. Though, if they were forced to confront reality, that's it. Challenge the twins to combat to show my brethren that their strongest warriors are no match for one woman. Mayhap then they will agree to lay down their arms and renounce this plot. Hurt the twins if you must, but pray do your utmost not to harm the others. I will try. Okay, down there. Hey. Hey. Knock it off. 7 hells, they found us. Everyone grab your gear and make for the rendezvous point. So, that's your game, is it? Sorry to disappoint you, lass, but we're more than willing to kill you ourselves. Yeah, I'll kill you first. How dare you stop me? Overkill the Lalafell. Oh. Got the Fs in here too. Beat him like it was nothing. The Almighty, what are we gonna do now? Just fall again. We yield, alright, we yield. That's what you wanted, ain't it? So go away and leave us be. Alright, go back to the refugee. Why does he look like Link? Is he supposed to be like Link? Oh, it is Link. Link the hero. You gotta love the role-playing aspect sometimes when you create a character you love from another series. I did that in Guild Wars too. I created like a Sailor Moon character in the past. You've returned. Did you find my brethren? What of the twins? What happened? I see. Well, you had no choice. Better that a handful of them take a beating from you than the lot get butchered by the flames. Tell me, what did the merchant have to say when it was over? Huh? But where else would he be? Unless he went to Stone's Throw to recruit others? Reap the whirlwind. A terrified refugee would have you find the shady figure who is trying to stir dissent among his brethren. The merchant wished to approach the refugees in Stone's Throw, but was waiting until the flames withdrew their forces from the vicinity. Now that they have, there's nothing to stop him from continuing his work. How many more must perish in pursuit of this futile cause? How much more suffering must we endure before it ends? Find him. Convince him to cease his mad quest. It will surely lead us to ruin. There's a geyser.
Have you seen my parents? They told me to stay here with the others. They said they'd be back soon, but it's been days. They left with a man from Eorzea. The man said they were gonna change everything, make it so we could live inside the walls with everyone else. I liked it when he said that. I didn't like it when he talked about making the rich people pay. Everyone looked so angry, and I got scared. Say, miss, are you looking for someone?
I'm looking for a merchant.
You mean the man who left with my parents? But I don't know where he... Wait, look! Over there. I think that's him.
Well now, which of these gullible fools shall be my next victim? You! Do I know you?
He's getting away! Go get him, miss!
He will pay.
The man who left with my parents ran off that way. You can't let him get away.
Why is she reminding me of Lilo? It's cute. You again? Why are you pursuing me?
You're a suspect.
Sedition? Treason? Revolution? That's preposterous. Who has filled your head with these lies? Refugees? The self-same refugees who terrorize the streets of Ul'dah? Ha! You have no evidence to prove your accusations. None. No, I will not accompany you to the Hall of Flames. You have no right to detain me. For the sake of argument, let us say I did do the things you claim. Surely you don't think I give a keycurn's ass about politics. It was business, only business. Tell me the truth. We both know I am not the one you want. However, if you agree to protect me, I swear I shall tell you everything. Oh. Too late. What's all this commotion? 7 hells. Tell the others to spread out and search the area. The killer may still be close. Oh dear. Hold, adventurer. I would know more about your relationship with the victim, as well as the events leading up to his death. This man was responsible for the recent riots. Mayhap we owe his murderer a debt of gratitude. In any case, it is obvious you are not the one whom we seek. You may carry on with your investigation, Scion. If that arrow was shot from where you indicated, the archer must have a good eye and a better arm. We return to the Hall of Flames. What news, Bella? Where is the merchant? Murdered? Damn it all to 7th hell. He was not simply murdered, Bella. He was silenced. Too many knew his face, and he was ready to divulge his secrets. Do not despair, though. We may be closer to identifying the true orchestrator of these riots than you realize. Revolution. Swift has a message for you from General Raban. The Flame General left word that you were to proceed to the Fragrant Chamber as soon as he returned. He wishes to discuss your recent discoveries, as well as the results of our own investigation. Master Alphino has already been informed and should be waiting for you outside. May proceed to the Royal Promenade with all haste and speak with Bartholomew. Speak with Bartholomew. Oh, there's the Y'shtola clone. Chamber of Rules.
faith.
Excellent work, Bella. The information you brought us helped me persuade General Raban to call this meeting. Mayhap now we can discuss matters openly and honestly. We have been expecting you, madam. Please proceed inside.
Commander Swift has kept us apprised of your recent activities. You've made great strides towards quelling the violence.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
This information does not leave this room. The Syndicate's decision to reject the Doman refugees' appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions. A number of those displaced by the calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination. Together with a group of Alamegan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate. Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence. Until a certain incident served as a call to arms.
A unit of brass blades sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon unarmed protesters. It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
We assumed at first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated. Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed. The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin to give the order. A merchant in the employ of Teleji Adeleji.
Teleji Adeleji.
Bastard.
But he spoke in favor of the Doman's cause, and has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
For greed and power.
Know you of the Cartano Reclamation Bill? It is a proposal to annex the Cartano Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield. The destruction wrought by Bahamut was greatest at the Cartano Flats. That much is common knowledge. What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Alagon ruins, of which no record existed. There are certain differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day. Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations. In full knowledge of this delicate state of affairs, Teleji Adeleji proposed the Cartano Reclamation Bill. A shameless, bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Alagon ruin.
The man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain.
Yank his ears.
He walks a path all his own, independent of any faction and beholden to none of his fellows on the Syndicate.
By inciting the less fortunate to violence, he hopes to convince others that the Cartono Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution. His sympathy for the plight of the Domins was not but posturing to gain credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
Forgive me, but what could possibly motivate Taleji Adeleji to go to such lengths? What is so special about these ruins that he would risk his position on the Syndicate, and, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate?
Omega.
Pardon?
An Allagan monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon. Mayhap larger, we know not. It has yet to be fully excavated. Allagan inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself. If accurate, it might explain why Nail Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Cartono Flats. Given the ends he went to ensure Eorzea's annihilation, destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
When first I bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon, one which could contend with Bahamut. Bahamut!
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
At present, Omega is more akin to a fossil than a tool of war, having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged. However, if someone were to restore it, as the Carlians did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
Power enough to subjugate Uldar like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides, which is doubtless why Taleji Adeleji yearns to have it.
That he should aspire to world domination. He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
Pray waste no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Uldar.
It would seem the implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
How am I sitting with my back wings? Stories we tell. Recent revelations weigh heavily on Alphino's mind. I should be glad to know the truth, and yet the thought that all this chaos was the product of one man's lust for power sickens me, as it does me. How long do you think they intended to hide the existence of Omega from the Scions? That they even felt the need to do so is most troubling. It would be in our best interest to learn more of the military activities in the disputed territories. Fortunately, you are already well positioned to do so, Sergeant Stardust. Pray keep us informed of any developments in Cartono. Begone, whelp. This is no place for children. Dare you yell at the girl?
I'm sorry. I was looking for you, miss. You said you were looking for the man who left with my parents.
You know this girl? So he visited Stone's Throw as well. I see.
Did you find the man? Were my parents with him?
They were not, I'm afraid. However, I can think of several places they might be. If you like, we can go and look for them together.
Really? You'll help me look, mister?
Of course. But first, I must needs finish speaking with my friend. She's telling me a secret, you see, so no one else is allowed to listen. Mayhap you could wait for me by that pillar over there? We require but a moment.
Okay, mister. I'll be waiting.
He's too young to be called a mister. I'll take her to the quicksand. Mayhap Amodi will know what to do. A legion of Garleans and Aether-starved primal. Even dealing with an Ascian would be preferable to this charade. Sometimes I fear my Philia is too ambitious. We rush hither and yon in response to threats as they arise, without concern for the strain it places on our limited resources, and ourselves. Mayhap the time has come for a change.
Bella, this is Mephilia. I know this is sudden, but I must ask you to return to Revenant's Toll with all due haste. The situation in the Twelveswood has taken a turn for the worst. I will explain in detail once you arrive.
The Twelveswood. Then the primal threat she spoke of before has been confirmed. I have received no reports of Ixali activity, which leaves the Sylphs. Go, Bella. You know as well as I that the appearance of a primal takes precedence over all else. Oh, and when you arrive, do inform the antecedent that while I am grateful for her concern, she needn't fear for my safety. I am more than capable of protecting myself.
This way.
Serpent Herald. I have come on behalf of the Elder Soothsayer to petition the aid of your order. The antecedent has been apprised of the situation.
It is a relief to see you healthy and hale, Bella. The latest news from Ulda was most disturbing. Clearly, the only injury Alphonse suffered was to his ego. Doubtless it will heal ere long. The other scions will need to be present for this meeting. If you are ready to begin, I will summon them now.
Lord of Levin. Mephilia wishes to discuss the latest threat to arise in the Black Shroud.
Thank you for responding to my call with such haste. Rest assured, I should not have summoned you were it not urgent. To business, then. I have received some most disturbing news from the Order of the Twin Adder. They have reason to believe that the Sylphs may have called forth their revered guardian, the primal Ramuh.
I'm sorry, may have? Then it is not certain.
The Elder Soothsayer informs us that the elementals themselves murmur of the Lord of Levin's return to the forest. The Sylphlands, however, display no signs of undue commotion.
Forgive me, antecedent, but that fact need not contradict the elemental's testimony. Unlike his more bellicose compeers, Garuda and so on, Ramuh is reputed to act only in the defense of his children. I imagine he would soon make his presence known if any were foolish enough to directly endanger the Sylphs or their territory. The abruptness of this development concerns me. Were we not keeping a close watch on the touched ones and their movements? If preparations for a summoning ritual were indeed underway, it would surely not have escaped your notice.
Oh, it didn't. I was pretty sure it was going to happen, just not this soon.
I beg your pardon? You foresaw this eventuality and did not prevent it?
I told Papalymo I suppose I could have reported things to Memphilia earlier, but there honestly wasn't much we could do except wait and see. You know how the Sylphs feel about people poking around in their territory. They already summoned Ramu once right after the calamity, but that was because the Guardians came tramping through the forest.
And so long as Castrum Orient stands, the Sylphs cannot be blamed for wishing to have their guardian deity on hand. In short, Eden and I are in agreement that actions of the forest folk were inevitable and unavoidable. And I maintain that observation would have remained the best policy had it not been for the sudden influx of strangers into the Black Shroud, that, alas, we did not foresee. By all accounts, the recent violence in Ul'dah drove a number of refugees to seek safety under the concealing canopy of the trees. 'Tis like that the Sylphs perceived this panicked migration as yet another invasion, and quickened their efforts to summon their god. I am put in mind of Titan and the kobolds. Once again, it is the affairs of men which have paved the way for Primal's coming. Indeed, one cannot help but wonder what manner of place Eorzea would be without the civilizing influence of mankind. Be that as it may, this regrettable development does afford us a unique opportunity. Bella, through your dealings with the Sylphs of Little Solace, you once succeeded in preventing an untimely conflict with Gridania. I wonder, might one who has treated with the Sylphs so fruitfully in the past not achieve similar success with their patron deity? If Ramu can be convinced of our intentions, it may be the first step to breaking the cycle of primal summoning. A fond hope. Were such a thing possible, we would not have been at war with the beastmen since time immemorial.
But maybe this time we can.
Let us continue this discussion anon. We must needs first consult with the nation most affected by Ramu's presence. The Elder Seedseer had requested your personal involvement, Bella. Pray report to Commander Hulaw at the Adder's Nest as soon as you are able. Steel yourself for the worst. While I hope for a peaceful resolution to this matter, experience suggests that your meeting with the Lord of Leven will prove less than amicable. In such an event, your fellow scions will, of course, lend you whatever support you require. The Elder Seedseer has asked for you by name. Pray report to Commander Hulaw at the Adder's Nest in Gridania with all haste.
Tadaru! Take care, Bella. I look forward to hearing all about your adventures when you return.
Duty calls? Well, no matter the task, I have faith you will see it through to the end. Higiri is working behind the bar now. I tried substituting native ingredients several times, but the result was but a pale imitation of authentic Doman cuisine.
Hey, Miss Bella, what's a Ramu? Is it cute and fluffy like a horse bird?
No, he's an old man. A wrinkly old man in the forest. Mayhap one day we shall accompany you into the field, but for now we must see to less glamorous duties. Speaking with Master Colonet has opened my eyes to a great many things. I had no idea the world outside Doma was so strange and wonderful. Very cute fluffy beard. Santa.
Miss Bella, is it true you're going to go venturing again? I'm so jealous.
Worried about leaving us alone? Don't be. While the Archons are away, Hoary Boulder will keep the little ones safe. Alright, no one else over here. I think someone else was sitting at the tables. Alright, Hozan. Is he observing the painting? It's a nice paint. What are you looking at? It's hard to tell. I thought it was like a marble or something. I was like, that's not a nice painting if it's a marble. The children are quick to take to Eorzean ways, but I cannot claim the same flexibility. Yeah, it's gotta be hard when you have old beliefs. Alright. Sergeant Stardust, your arrival has been most anticipated. The appearance of a primal is ever cause for alarm and unease. Though my men stand ready for any eventuality, I know of none more qualified than you to snuff out this threat. Indeed, I would have you do so without delay. The Elder Seedsir, however, would speak with you first. She is of the opinion that your diplomatic rather than martial skills may better serve our cause. I will leave further explanation to our learned leader. Pray make your way to Nafka's altar. The conjurer in attendance will admit you to the lotus stand. Okay. The other scions have already arrived, madam. May I show you in? Yes. Yes, this is my favorite office. Ah, so peaceful.
Whatever the Elder Seedsir is planning, I want you to know that I'll be right there by your side, and I'm sure Y'shtola won't be far behind, even if she does think everything's mankind's fault.
Y'shtola. Y'shtola. You're part of mankind. Can't hate your own race. I am most curious to hear how the Elder Seedsir means to treat with Lord Ramuh. It is said that once Ramuh passes judgment, his wrath is implacable. 'Twould be best to conclude this discussion ere Britannia and his people are placed upon his scales. I see the Sylphs have sent their own representative. There can be no doubt, then.
Oh, hello, Walking One. It is good to see you, friend of Elder One.
Scions of the Seventh Dawn, on behalf of the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty. I summoned you here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. Ramuh is returned unto the forest. Scarce had his words ceased to echo in mine ears when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solace. Our guest informs us that the Sylphs too have sensed the presence of the Lord of Levin. Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown, we may safely assume that the Primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands. Unlike the other Primals you have encountered, Lord Ramuh is no raging avatar of destruction. He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the Sylphs found a way to share the Twelveswood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided. Blessed as you are with the power of the Echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a primal without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations. The Twelveswood has suffered enough. Upon this, we and the Sylphs, and I would venture Lord Ramu himself, are in perfect accord. Let us not endanger our shared home by engaging in unnecessary hostilities. Dear friend, I beseech you, safeguard the peace which exists between our peoples.
I'm so happy.
You have my thanks. Pray make for little solace, then. A member of the Order of the Twin Adder awaits you there. He will advise you on how to find the Lord of Levin. An ill wind blows through the forest. Yet, it is not only the Twelveswood that flinches at its coming. All the lands of Eorzea shiver in dread anticipation. Have care.
Oh, they just kicked me out. I couldn't talk to anyone. Rude. Okay. Off to Hawthorne Hut. Yay! Hanging from the house. They are cute houses. Sergeant Stardust, I was told to expect you. I understand you go to treat with the Primal Ramu himself, an unenviable task, but one for which I have no doubt you are well suited. I have been told that your fellow Scions are conducting an investigation of the area as we speak, that we might ascertain the location where the Lord of Levin might be found. I would ask that you abide here until they return with their findings. Yeah, so let's continue on. Levin an impression. The Serpent Lieutenant looks about, seemingly awaiting a visitor. I was told that a messenger would be sent as soon as your fellow Scions finish their investigation. I do not imagine it will be much longer.
This one returns, and returns with good tidings. Wise ones have finished searching, and have wisely identified the precise location where the touched ones summon Lord Ramu.
Your timing is impeccable, my fluttery friend. Might you be so kind as to escort this good woman to her fellow Scions?
It would be this one's pleasure, Walking One. Please come with this one.
We are counting on you, Sergeant Stardust. Be safe and Godspeed.
To the forest we go.
Heading this way. I just find this pod interesting.
Wise ones have ventured deep within the Sylphlands. These ones must proceed carefully and keep an eye out for touched ones.
Well, thankfully I can fly over. If I'm not mistaken, in the past, before they removed some quest lines, I think they had like a, what was it, like a stealth game or something? Like you had to stealthily sneak through here. I didn't do that quest line because I think they took it out before I played into it, but I remember watching a playthrough of someone doing that. There's down here. Where? Ah.
This one is most sorry, but this one can go no further. Draw too close to Lord Ramu, and this one may turn mean and nasty like touched ones. And so this one must say farewell for now. Walking One will find wise ones not far from here, to the south. Go in safety, Walking One.
You had to sneak it, and there were two Y'shtollas running around. The Sylphs are playing mind games.
So, sacred is sacred, Papalimo is Papalimo, Y'shtola is Y'shtola, and you are you, right? Well, that's easy enough to remember. This one's name is Ida, in case Walking One was wondering. Joke! I'm joking!
Right. Don't ask. Suffice it to say that we had something of a situation here. Apparently. Ah, there you are. It is you, isn't it?
It is me.
So, it's actually you. I'm relieved. For a moment, I thought we were dealing with another one of those confounded sylph tricksters. I swear, with them wreaking havoc with their skin-changing magics, it's a wonder I was able to finish taking my measurements. Yes, it was quite the ordeal. You should have seen the look on Y'shtola's face when the one impersonating you suddenly showed up. That's quite enough, Papalimo. Ahem. My apologies. It's not like me to ramble so. At any rate, as I was saying, I have finished measuring etheric activity in the area, and I'm pleased to say I have reached an indisputable conclusion, to wit, that Ramu was called forth in the vicinity of the Sylphs' aetherite. Come, Bella, the Lord of Leaven awaits. Lord of Leaven awaits. It's down here.
Nora betrays thee, servant of hiding. Thou art the bringer of light, bane of Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, and Leviathan. I am Ramu, guardian of the children of the forest. Thou tramplest upon sacred soil, bringer of light. By what right doth man intrude in this sanctuary of the sylphs?
Gridanians proffer peace? Their words are born of delusion, thine offer an insult. Thou speakest of harmony, yet carest naught for my children's desires. They did but wish to dwell beneath these boughs in solitude. Yet even that was too much to ask of man. Thus did they turn to me for succor. The sentence I pronounce upon thy kind is just. Redanian or Garlean, it matters not. The good intent of one excuseth not the misdeeds of the other.
His beard. Is that his
Thy
stomach?
conflicts have brought naught but anguish and misery unto the forest. All blame doth lie with the darkness that resideth in the breast of man. Whence sprung this calamitous seed? In the beginning no such duality existed, for light and dark given form when man was born. It would explain much, not least why strife and sorrow follow ever in thy wake. Thou canst not deny the urgings of thine own nature. Knowing that thy mere presence here portendeth tragedy, wilt thou persist in this pretense of peacemaking?
I'm doing my best here.
Thou bearest the crystal which I bestowed upon my wayward charges, that they should entrust so precious a gift to thee. Thou standest apart from thy kin. Thou art the bringer of light, aye, but there is something more in thee. Very well. I shall consider thy proposal, shouldst thou survive my trial. If thou wouldst champion the cause of harmony, I must have proof that thou art fit to play the role. Wither mine ire, and prove to me thereby that thou hast strength enough to stay the darkness which threateneth to consume thee. Yet if thou shouldst be found wanting, know that all men shall perish in the storm of my judgment.
So dramatic.
Come to me, bringer of light. I shall await thee on the field of battle.
Eorzea, it is rare indeed to find you so far from a tome.
The Lord of Levin himself. Never till this day had I looked upon his visage, save in painted renderings made faint by time. Ever shall this scene remain etched in my mind's eye. Beg pardon,
He's here
my
to
lady.
geek out.
I must beg thine aid on a point of research. If thou art resolved to face Lord Ramu, I would ask thy leave to observe the event.
A striking tree. Am I safe? Am I safe? There you are. There you are. Okay. Yay! Let's invite to party. Love your outfit. Alright, so, I see. Okay. Duty. And I'm gonna do the unregistered party right away. Yes, confirm. And, here we go. Striking trait. After forging deep into the Sylphlands, you meet with the intimidating guardian deity of the Sylphs, the Primal Ramu. But before he will consider your proposal of peace, the Lord of Levin first demands proof that you possess the strength required to repel the Empire from the Twelvewood. The thunderous entity then vanishes in a blinding flash, leaving the words of his challenge yet echoing in your ears. Enter the Primal's domain and prepare to be measured on the scales of battle. Let's go! I love this music too. Don't look into the beard. I'll try not to. It's hard. He's like mostly consumed by his beard. Sorry, you have to walk through these things, I think. That was like a mechanic. That lasted a little longer. That was fun. We completed your trial, old man. Yay! I love this stage. Oh my god. Oh my god. Look at that. Look at the waterfalls. Lovely. Is that the what they call that? The burning wall in the other map? Where the crystal tower is. Tree. Float of mushrooms. So whimsical. Loves it.
I have taken thy measure, bringer of light. And I judge thee a worthy champion. The task of excising the sin that hath taken root in man's heart is thine. Shrink not from employing thy strength in service to the forest and the wider realm beyond. Like hungering shadows do the enemies of harmony gather, and meekness will but feed them. If man is to be delivered from the dark, it shall be by thy guiding light alone. Stray not from the path, for if thou dost, thy people shall be truly lost.
Oh, he's after Eorzea heart because he rhymed.
Thou hast slain the Lord of Levin. A regrettable act, but a necessary one. In witnessing thy struggle, a truth hath been revealed unto me. If I mistake not, it may yet prove a chink in the eternal armor of the Ascians. But let us conclude our present business. I shall expound upon my findings at the Rising Stones anon.
I'll meet you there. Yay! Alright, so off. You really like the view there? Yeah, it was like gorgeous. Alright, back to Little Solace. Thanks for the help, Taya. Where am I going? This way. Defeated him. Sergeant Stardust, you have returned. Dare I ask how Ramu received your visit? It was a challenge. He challenged you to a test of arms. It is well then that you have some experience in such matters. The peoples of both Gridania and Little Stalls will be relieved to hear that the Lord of Levin has accepted you as the forest champion of peace. You have performed a monumental duty this day, Sergeant Stardust. The Elder Soothsayer must be informed of your deeds at once. What little gods are made of. The Serpent Lieutenant is ready to send you on your way. The Elder Soothsayer will wish to hear of your experiences firsthand. Pray return to Gridania and make directly for the Lotus Stand. The Conjurer at Nafika's altar will be expecting you. Very well, Sergeant Stardust. I return to Gridania and make directly for the Lotus Stand. The Conjurer at Nafika's altar will be expecting your arrival. Very well, Sergeant Stardust. Okay. Going to the Conjurer's Guild. Welcome back, Honored Scion. We who knew of your mission have been most anxious to see you return. The Elder Soothsayer waits you within. It's nice and sunny here now. Ah, pretty. It would seem that Ida's appraisal of the situation held some merit after all. Mayhap I should not be so swift to discount her intuition. Don't judge a book by its cover.
You should have seen Maxia when we got back to Little Solace. Grateful is an understatement. I thought he was going to shake Papalima's hand off.
Ah, the hero of the hour. Let us not keep the elder Soothsayer waiting. I fancy my presence was more help than hindrance during our troubles with Leviathan, but this time around, well, even I have my off days. Alright, the sylph is gone.
You are returned to us, dear friend, and none the worse for bearing the heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most glad am I of this. I am informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord Ramuh ended in conflict. Pray tell me, what befell? Ramuh made trial of you? I fear there is truth to his claim. It is the darkness within us that attracts the darkness without.
This is true. As within, so without.
It cannot be denied that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Cartano, or to the rising flood of refugees. Our shared struggle against the Empire should have served to seal our union. Yet the ties which bind the Alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest. As the scars of the calamity begin to fade, so too does our sense of common purpose. Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new-sprung realm is to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all. Eorzea must be as one. Yet I fear that dream is still far off. On behalf of the people of Gridania and the elementals both, I thank you for all that you and your fellow scions have done. Full oft have I been compelled to look to you for aid of late, and offered all too little in return. As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a more worthy ally to your cause henceforth. Lord Ramuh has departed, yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent. Voices of the forest, pray speak and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
Yeah, it kind of is a sad thing that humanity only rallies together during times of hardship. We need to find a common cause. Thus ends another daunting mission, eh, Bella? I'd hoped Lord Ramuh could be persuaded with words alone, but nonetheless, I can only admire the adroitness with which you responded to the primal sudden challenge. And it seems that Eorzea too was pleased with the outcome. What say you, Bella? Shall we gather back at the Rising Stones and ponder the lessons of the day? I am sure that Minfilia will be eager to hear more of your adventures. Let us return to the Rising Stones and put our thoughts in order. Okay, back to the Rising Stones. Everyone's still here. Talk to Minfilia. Welcome back, Bella. Word of your momentous encounter with Lord Ramu precedes you. I would fain share news of mine own, but Urianger's discoveries must take precedence. Upon witnessing your defeat of the Lord of Levin, our learned companion was struck with a profound insight regarding the nature of the Ascians' immortality. Let us assemble and discuss his observations together.
If everyone is ready, let us begin. Eorzea, the floor is yours.
As all here assembled now know, in its final hours as our Order's headquarters, the waking sands did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Ascian clad in white, Elidibus. Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Ascians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
In the intervening time, Eorzea and I have striven to discover a means by which the Ascians might more permanently be slain.
And 'tis my belief that we have found the thread that will allow us to unravel the twisted skein of their existence. In the moments prior to Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension. The etheric readings taken by Y'shtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
The disruption to the flow of ether was sudden and dramatic. So tangible was the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
The significance of Y'shtola's readings might better be understood in the context of mine own, taken at the instant of the Lord of Levin's demise. Unlike the Primal, the Sahagin was not subject to etheric dissipation.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to recall what we know of etheric behavior.
Story time.
Let us begin at what some might call the end. When we who dwell in the material realm die, our spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm.
The spirit world.
In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
Rebirth cycle.
'Tis
This
as
actually
the
does happen.
heavens did decree, the way of all mortal souls. Twixt this world and the next do the ethereal currents swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continue unabated.
Although you can choose to live different life forms in
Primals
different
behave somewhat
galaxies.
differently. In order to manifest
If
and
you
then
so
maintain
choose.
a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether, most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether given shape. Thus, a defeated primal leaves behind no broken corpse. Rather, the essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
And there it waiteth, till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
So it's kind of like a hologram. But a physical hologram.
Which brings us on to the third group, the so-called immortals. They exist in a manner all their own.
Quite. Even as the Sahagin elder fell to the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
a soul that dissipateth not upon the death of the flesh.
The secret of life everlasting, and in the claws of a Sahuagin no less. But I wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
If mortal death entails a return to the ethereal realm, it seems doubtful that the soul of an immortal would venture there.
Nay, it merely withdraweth the distance, unto the shore of the ethereal sea, perchance, but no further.
Yes,
So it's just
it
a ghost
exists in neither
possessing
this realm
people.
nor the next, abiding instead in the space that lies between them. The Ascians took control of Thancred by means of a crystal of darkness, an artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
I was hoping people had forgotten about that.
I am sorry, my friend.
For a mercy, the weary road of our research hath brought us unto an answer.
The Sahuagin ascended to an immortal state, but he did not possess a crystal of darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan. If we could entrap the spirits of defeated Ascians in like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection...
Therein lieth the path to victory. Thou art most perceptive, my lady. Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy. Thus might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done. At present, we lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Ascian soul. Yet, I believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
I will depart at once to convene with the sages of Sharlayan. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
I have the utmost faith in you, Archon.
Beg pardon, antecedent, but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldessian. Their findings shall soon be known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
I shall, Archon. Thank you.
Look at this place. The place is so cool looking. The Lord of Levin is returned to the Aether, as was Leviathan before him. Ramuh's acquiescence was most intriguing. Inferno, Vortex, Crag, Whirl, and Levin all have now been humbled by the Bringer of Light. The limitless potential of man, Heidelin's servant, grows mightier by the day. Yet she prospers at great cost to her mistress, whose strength is all too finite. 7 times have the masses survived the rejoining, but their souls are grown weak and wane. Yet even as it enervates, the ardor empowers our master. All that remains is to nurture the strength of the gifted to forge the final key. and that is the task to which we bend our every effort. Divine seeds were ever wont to quicken in Eorzea's fertile soil. We need only lead men to the field, and by their eager hands shall a new deity arise. That which was shattered shall be made anew, and the one true God shall come again. So creepy. Continue on. Guardian of Eorzea. And Ophelia has some correspondence she wishes to share with you. Now, the matter of Ramuh has, for the present, been put to rest. There is something I would show you, Bella. It is a letter of thanks, signed by the leaders of the Eorzean Alliance, acknowledging the Scion's tireless service to the realm. It mentions in particular the names of all of the defeated primals, Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, Good King Mogamog XII, Leviathan, and now Ramuh. Needless to say, there is only one among our number to have faced them all. And though these words of gratitude were addressed to our order as a whole, I feel that they were meant for you above all others. I too must offer my heartfelt thanks for all that you have done. In the course of your duties, you have never once failed to answer my call to arms. You are a true hero, Bella, and Eorzea is that much the safer for your presence. Pray do not misunderstand me. I said safer, not safe. I know only too well that we can ill afford to lower our guard, that Ascians may be relied upon to sow chaos in this realm until such time as they are forced to stop. Why, even without their encouragement, you may be assured that man would foment strife on his own, and that is to say nothing of the beast tribes. Unless we learn to live in harmony, the primals too will return to plague us again and again and again. And yet, despite all of this, your deeds serve to inspire the people, to give them hope for a better tomorrow, and there is no greater gift. That we have the courage to strive for what might otherwise seem an impossible peace, we owe in no small part to the dangers you have faced on our behalf, and the people you have won over to our cause in so doing. Our list of enemies has ever been long, but think of the allies with whom we are now blessed. Of the sylphs of Little Solace, who wish not of conflict. Of Alize, who strives to unearth the terrible secrets of the calamity. And then there is Sid and the Fellowship of Noah, racing to unlock the mysteries of ancient Alag, that we might be spared the horror of another Ultima weapon. Of course, when speaking of our greatest allies, we must not forget those closest to us, by which I mean our fellow Scions. Thanks to their many and varied talents, our order is uniquely equipped to combat the far-reaching corruption of the Ascians, and combat it we shall. Your enthusiasm is truly heartwarming antecedent. Given our embarrassing wealth of allies, I trust it will not inconvenience you unduly if I absent myself for a time. Alphino, I take it the troubles in Ul'dah no longer require your attention? There are yet some rumblings of discontent, but the air of simmering violence is largely dissipated. 'Tis to report such that I stand before you now. That, and to speak with you concerning the new organization we discussed. I have a message for you from Ella. You recall the refugee girl? The one whose parents were missing? They were found unharmed. She wished me to pass on her thanks to you. Why, Alphino, am I to understand that you made the effort to remember the poor girl's name? I look forward to reading all about her in your report. I do hope you left nothing out. Gotta tease him. Bella, you have been away from Revenant's Toll for some time now, I believe. Might I suggest that you put the affairs of the realm to one side for the moment and take this opportunity to reacquaint yourself with the town? Which reminds me, one of the Dolmen children recently inquired as to your whereabouts. Yozan was his name. I believe he has some small matter he wishes to share with you. Why not oblige him with a visit? I realize that you must be quite tired from your travails, but I would most appreciate it if you could find a moment to speak with young Yozan. He has been through much in his own right, I am sure. After we parted in Ul'dah, I paid a visit to the refugees. The fundamental solution remains far off. I believe that, at the very least, there should be no armed uprisings in the near future. I am given to understand that you resolved the matter of Ramu. I will ask Mephilia for a full report when next we speak. You have done well, Bella. Yozan is here. The storm has passed, and a moment's quietude is ours. Totaro is using her newfound time to further her studies, and I would follow her example. If living in Eorzea has taught us anything at all, it's that such restful moments are fleeting. Dark clouds ever stir anew on the horizon. With the Dolmen younglings dashing around hither and yon, there's hardly a moment of peace to be had. That said, traveling with Yida, it's not as if I knew much peace to begin with. Poor Papalymo. Yeah, Yida can probably a little loud and klutzy. Love you though, Yida. I do not know where we would be without Hiragiri. The girl has worked tirelessly for us every day since her arrival. Do you suppose all Dolmen women are so diligent? I told Flamine all about our adventures in the Silplands, fake Thancred and all. You won't tell the real Thancred, will you? I will tell him straight away. Yida blabbed on you. Thancred, oh my god, Thancred. Leave the girl alone to her work. 137, 138, 130. Oh, hello there. I've been charged with keeping inventory. Lamine tells me it's vitally important. Oh dear, I seem to have lost count. Never is a woman more lovely than when she is hard at work, I say. A wild rose, strong and beautiful, blooming tall in the face of the frozen winds. Oh my god. What is he doing? Many of my countrymen have found work as frontier hands, helping to transport supplies and continue the expansion of Revenant's Toll. I have been tasked with keeping the equipment here in good repair. It is not particularly glamorous work, but I would help in whatever way I can. Got some new recruits. Repetition and routine begets skill. Skill begets confidence. I would do what I can to see the Dolmens regain their strength of will. Ah, Bella, care to watch the lessons before you journey on your way? I dare say your presence would go far to inspire the younglings. Despite all the hardships they have faced, the younglings pursue their training with great zeal. We older ones would do well to follow their example. Got the kiddos. If I were as big as a mountain and strong as a bear like Mr. Boulder is, maybe I would like fighting more. Are you taking a rest too? Promise you'll play with us again soon. That game of hide and seek in Vesper Bay was the most fun I've had in forever. Oh my god. Yozan's always been the strongest of us, but even he's no match for Koharu when she's mad. I bet. Look, it's Miss Bella. She's back from her adventures. We heard you were all fighting primals, and that they are some of the strongest enemies you could ever face. I wish I could have seen you in battle. Anyway, we all want to be heroes too, so we finally formed our very own Doman Adventurers Guild to protect all the Domans. Oh, do you think you could train us today, Miss Bella? Maybe you could show us how you fought the primals. What's all this commotion then? Mr. Boulder, Mr. Colonet, did you know that Miss Bella's back?
So it would seem. Welcome home, Bella. My companion and I but recently became full members of the Scions, and I believe proper introductions have yet to be made. I am known as Hoary Boulder, and this bookish fellow is Colonet. Though we remain largely unproven as adventurers, we have taken it upon ourselves to instruct the Doman younglings in the arts of combat.
Ah, I told you, Mr. Boulder, we are not younglings anymore. We are adventurers. And we were just asking Miss Bella if she could give us some special training. I think we're ready to hunt monsters alongside her, don't you?
Well, you've certainly been diligent with your drills, but I'm afraid the feats of Mordonar are still ever so slightly too dangerous for you. I have a counter-proposal. What if I were to cross swords with Bella? A demonstration of skill at arms, if you will. Hoary, if I didn't know you better, and I do, I'd say you were merely seeking to test yourself against a legend. Ha ha ha. Well, mayhaps I am, but what matters the motive when the children stand to learn so much from the lesson? What say you, Bella? Would you consent to spar with me?
Sure. Hurrah! We're to have a tournament. Come on, everyone. We must prepare for our gear for an outing.
Do try not to disappoint them, Have faith, Colonet. I shall summon every last ounce of my strength to make of this a worthy contest. The fields to the east of town should prove suitable for our purpose. I very much look forward to our bout.
Looks like they moved already. So turn we to heroes of conscience unstained. May all stop at naught till what's lost is regained. Oh, hello again. Flamine has been teaching me some Eorzean ballads. Though I hail from a faraway land, there is something about music that truly transcends borders. Higiri has told me about a Doman tea with a most remarkable fragrance, what I would not give to taste it for myself. Guitar! Nothing warms me inside quite like Higiri's tea. Truly it is salve for the body and soul.
Just as some children possess wisdom beyond their years, some adults are little more than children writ large. Remember this, and it should save you a measure of frustration in your dealings with those around you.
I dare say they heard you talking a mom away. You didn't think it dashed out not moments ago. Will they ever start acting their age? Hey, always be a kid at heart. Look at that puppy! I want it. Here to watch it? Since becoming a scion, I have had much opportunity to hear news of your epic deeds. I must confess, then, that my excitement rivals that of the children's at the prospect of seeing you in action firsthand. I'll put on a great show. Is sparring dangerous? I don't think I want to see anyone else being hurt. We had a master of lessons back in Doma, and the way he taught us was very different from Mr. Boulder. I'm not sure which way is better, but I think I like them both.
As we left the Rising Stones, Mr. Thancred asked us where we were going. I told him we were off to watch you and Mr. Boulder fight, and he looked very surprised. I hope we haven't made him cross.
Are they around here? I don't see them. They're in hiding. They don't want to seem as excited.
Miss Bella is here. Let the battle begin.
Alright. 'Twas good of you to agree to this, Bella. I trust you are ready to begin.
Proceed.
Very well. Let us not keep the younglings waiting any longer. Ahem. Hori, are you certain you wish to fight her alone? That is Bella you face. What better way to test my mettle? Pray allow me to attempt the first round unaided. After all, 'twas this hero's legend that led me to join the Scions to begin with. Without Bella to inspire my efforts, I would not be half the warrior I am today. Your point is well made, but remember, this is for the children's sake as well as your own. Should it appear the contest will end too swiftly, I shall add my spells to your blade work. Hello, you haven't begun yet, have you? Ida, what? Who are all these people?
When I heard about your sparring match, I told everyone I could find. Thought you could use a crowd to cheer you on.
Yes, and there are still more to come. When I mentioned Bella's name, the reaction was quite enthusiastic. Why, my own popularity seems but a sickly shade in comparison. You'd best claim victory, bringer of light. Your burgeoning reputation is at stake.
Well, our teacher won't be beaten so easily. He's a master swordsman. You can win, Mr. Boulder.
We shall soon see. On your guard.
Okay.
No, that was too quick. Come on, get up, get up, get up. Go after you. That was so powerful. Is there going to be a third round? I'll give you a shot. The wind blast. That's the guy just blew and he fell over. You have bested me. I yield. That was incredible. She beat them both at the same time. We knew you couldn't lose, Bella. None can defeat the Guardian of Eorzea. Who are you? Now I see why they send you to deal with the primals. I've much work to do if I'm ever to attempt the same. Glad to know I inspire people. Impressive as always, Bella. 'Tis ever a pleasure to witness the spectacle of your martial prowess. And judging by the smiles on these many faces, they too appreciate the hard-won strength that keeps the perils of the realm at bay. Guardian of Eorzea. Yes, that is a most fitting title. Do you recall when first we met? 'Twas at the memorial service for the Battle of Cartano. At the time, I was yet attempting to understand this land of Eorzea. I sought to grasp the reason why Grandfather willingly sacrificed himself to protect it. I shall speak plainly. My initial impressions were less than favorable. Dire problems abounded, and yet the effort I saw expended towards their solution was haphazard and half-hearted. I thought Eorzeans a foolish and childish people. Considering the shambles their home was in, I would not have been surprised if some had chosen to swear allegiance to Gaius and the order he proposed to enforce. Legaius' single-minded military invasion precluded any such switching of loyalties, of course. Were it not for a desire to continue Grandfather's legacy, I would have abandoned the realm to its fate long ago. The threats were too many, the nations too self-involved and unstable. 'Twas you who convinced me the salvation of Eorzea was possible. 'Twas you who taught me, through countless acts of bravery, that what my grandsire sought to preserve was not the land, nor its history, nor any single nation. It was the people, these wonderful, oft infuriating, stubborn people that suffer blow after terrible blow, only to drag themselves back to their feet to face another day. Though we never put such feelings into words, I believe Grandfather's admiration for this inextinguishable courage grew into a fervent wish, a wish to aid Eorzea and its inhabitants in charting a course for the future. A wish that has now become my own. I too will endeavor to take up the mantle of Guardian of Eorzea and champion these people who toil towards a better world. Our cause, however, is not a single one. The troubles that plague us are of a scale that cannot be solved by the science of a seventh dawn alone. No, what is needed to tackle the root of the primal threat and effectively counter the schemes of the Ascians is a new expanded organization that operates beyond the limitations of nations and borders. If you would aid me in building such an organization, then pray let us continue this discussion back within the walls of the Rising Stones. It was a good battle, Hori. Our domain farming methods have been adopted here for the frontier. 'Tis too early yet to know if they will prove to be effective. Everyone's here. I wish Ida were not so eager to look to the future when we have so many problems in the here and now.
I can't wait for Alpha now to start his new company. I love making new friends.
Your bout with Hoary Boulder was more stirring than 100 lines of my most passionate poetry. Mayhaps I should arrange a sparring match of mine own. I fear Yida's boundless optimism is beginning to affect my better judgment, and your tendency to triumph against the most terrible of foes is certainly not helping matters.
No, this won't do at all, and then I'll have to... Oh, hello, Bella. If you don't mind, I'm terribly busy at the moment.
What you doing?
This place has become as a hive, and its bees flit about in constant motion. Perhaps a soothing pot of tea will coax one or two to alight and take a moment's rest. 'Tis not enough that I am here for my daughter. I must do what little I can to help you all succeed in your monumental tasks.
My people's spirits were thoroughly crushed by the loss of our homeland, but thanks to your courage and generosity, I see their inner flames once more flicker back to life. I too have felt my strength of will make a gradual return. I thought the idea foolish at first, but it seems that sparring match well served its purpose. Why, I can hardly wait to return to my studies and seek to improve upon my technique. Bella, I must thank you again for agreeing to our bout. And I must thank the gods 'twas not a duel to the death. I will, however, cherish the lesson of each scrape and bruise as I work to better my swordplay. Let's talk to Roka first.
I like the way Mr. Colonet fought. No swords or fists. I wonder, if I studied hard, would I be able to cast spells like that too? Mr. Boulder is sore and beaten, but he said he'd return straight to his training. I don't think he likes to lose.
We need to decide who in our Adventurers Guild will do what. I'm fairly sure Yozan will have to be the sword fighter. He always has to be in the thick of the action. Mr. Boulder fought well, but he was no match for you, Miss Bella. Just you wait. One day I'll be good enough to knock you from the top of your mountain. Try. You can try. Maybe when I'm old and gray. With the primal threat presently subdued, now is the perfect time to focus on new endeavors. Alphino has long been laying the groundwork for this organization of his, and he looks to you to help turn his proposal into reality. Pray lend him what aid you can. Thank you for coming, Bella. The world shifts and alters, and we, my friend, must ever be one step ahead of the chaos. What I propose is the formation of a new organization, a group that shall pave the way for a truly united Eorzea. Sure. Recruiting the realm. Alphino wishes to request your assistance for his new endeavor. Pray forgive me if I tread over old ground, but I would first speak of the grand plan. Since the advent of the 7th Astral Era, the leaders of the three nations have been deliberating over an accord that seeks to bring the disparate forces of Eorzea together into a single entity. A realm-wide grand company, if you will. The military might of such an institution would be drawn from every corner of the land and directed against threats that no single nation could hope to overcome alone. Yet while the purpose of this hypothetical organization is undisputed, the logistics of its formation have become the source of endless debate. And the longer these discussions continue, the more I sense the impetus towards unification draining away. Thus have I been campaigning for the creation of what might be considered a trial company. It will be on a much smaller scale than what we hope to eventually achieve, but capable of the same manner of the unrestricted operation accorded to the Scions, 'Tis my hope that the successful utilization of such a force will lend momentum to the lagging deliberations. Also, being a primarily military outfit, I mean to assuage fears of its misuse by placing the fledgling organization under the authority of the antecedent. The Scions work tirelessly to protect Eorzea and its people. As you yourself have witnessed with the refugee revolt, there are limitations to what even we can achieve. With this new company under the Science's command, however, we will be capable of responding to a wider range of difficulties without straining our resources or overtaxing your formidable talents. The goals of my proposed organization and those of the Scions are ultimately identical, a point conceded by all concerned. But before I can move forward with establishing this precursor to the true border-spanning Grand Company, 'tis yet necessary that I visit the 3 leaders and gain their official approval. A tiresome and time-consuming task, which is why I would ask that you accompany me on the journey and attend to the business of recruiting our inaugural members, while I am otherwise engaged with bureaucratic formalities.
Yay, a trip with my son.
Thank you. 'Tis reassuring indeed to know that the Bringer of Light and her discerning eye will be selecting our future allies. Our first destination will be Limsa Lominsa. Let us rendezvous at Bulwark Hall. I'm going a little overtime with this, but it's okay. Like I said, I think there's just a couple more quests to do. Ah, there you are. I am ready to ascend to the bridge and speak with Admiral Blofusfin. While the Admiral and I are finalizing her mystery boundaries and signing parchments, I would have you begin the recruitment process in earnest. I have, of course, endeavored to spread the word of our organization through various channels, but I believe a personal approach will reach many who may otherwise remain ignorant of the opportunity. As for potential members, 'tis of no matter should they already be pledged to another institution, only that they are willing to lend their strength when the situation demands it, and you needn't range into the countryside. The upper decks alone are populated with sufficient candidates to suit our purpose. Once you are satisfied with your recruiting efforts, we meet at the airship ticket counter that we might prepare for the next leg of our journey. Okay, going up top. Let's go to the farthest one first. So let's come over here. Master Alphino's new organization. Yes, I had heard the formation of his trial company was in the offing. 'Tis with regret, however, that I must decline your invitation. As commander of the Yellow Jackets, the protection of Limsa Lominsa must needs receive my full attention. An organization with the freedom to operate with territorial impunity. I must say, your proposal intrigues me. But the Krakens will well know that there is a time to act and a time to watch, and I'm afraid this trial company of yours falls into the later category. precursor to a united Eorzea grand company. Well, I do admire the scope of your ambition. My responsibilities here at Naldic and Vimelius keep me close to the forge. I have not the time to be traipsing hither and yon across the realm. Should you require my skills as an armorer, however, I might be willing to accept some special commissions. It's right across this way. What you ladies doing out here just squatting? Talk to the captain. Hey, who in the bloody hells do you think you're talking to, Drylander? I'm a pirate, not some sodden knight in shining plate. If you're looking for a self-righteous fop, try knocking on that dandy Carvelan's door. I already did. You declined. I believe it's this way. Oh, it's real. Well, if it ain't Bella, I'd not forget a adventurer brave enough, or daft enough, to seek the shortcut into Titan's bedchamber. You remember old Real, don't ye? Formerly of the Company of Heroes. 3 whistles at Bronze Lake? Aye, it ain't often I drag me ass out to Limsa for a drink, but I'm right glad I did. How fare you these days? You're looking to put together a new crew. Top tier work? Huh, sounds like a right lark, it does. Alrighty lass, count me in. The heroes may have gone their separate ways, but I ain't ready to climb into me grave just yet. Got one. We're gonna be taking the airship. We'll just say we did. Bella, your recruiting went well, I trust. I am curious as to how my proposal was received by the rough and reedy folk of Limsa Limensa. Ah, a member of the legendary Company of Heroes indicated his interest. Astonishing. I knew enlisting your aid was the right choice. Few could boast the acquaintance of such an elusive character. I, too, was successful in my task. The Admiral consented to sign all the documents requiring her approval. I can only hope that my visit with the other Seaseer proceeds as smoothly. Pray continue on to Gridania at your own pace. I shall await your arrival at Nafika's altar. Alright, we'll just head on over to Gridania. Alright, so we got quite a bit done with this quest. There's just a little bit left to do, and I will create another little video for that ending of this quest line, and then we will continue on with the 2.4 quests. Alright, give a like and subscribe to see more, and I will see you next time.